Envision this fresh fall season as a golden opportunity to call in abundance and wealth into your life and business. Just as the leaves transform into riches of red and gold, let this season be a symbol of your own financial transformation as I take you along in this bonus episode on a mini abundance walk that is perfectly set for this autumn season. And it's your autumn of abundance.
If you're tired of hearing the same old basic mindset and motivational fluff talk, you've come to the right show. Welcome to ProjectME with Tiffany Carter, the podcast, where we dish on everything from managing that crazy brain of yours to manifesting abundance to my straightforward, actionable steps that will make you major money online. Now, I'm not your typical multimillionaire entrepreneur. It takes a small village to keep my anxiety and depression in check. I'm inherently disorganized with an intense obsession with office supplies. Your girl here is a digital marketing content expert who's generated over $200 million in sales. I promise by tuning in twice a week, you will get a much needed refreshing dose of truth, clarity, and cash making advice. Now let's get to it.
What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It is your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is a special, ultra rare, we've actually never done it before, bonus episode all around autumn abundance. This is designed to be a mini abundance walk for you, designed for this season of transition, this season of shedding, this season of regrowth, this season of setting yourself up to be open for change and open for new and open for fresh. Because if we do not look at our wealth and our prosperity and our success, that there's different seasons, we end up putting so much unnecessary pressure on ourselves that we always have to be in growth. We always have to be in learning mode. We always have to be doing this. We don't always have to be anything. All we have to do is our best on any given day and trust that is more than enough and take those steps. And I want you first to embrace the prosperity of change. You can't have a different life and the life that you want unless you embrace that there's going to be some changes that have to occur in order for you to have it. Changes in belief, changes in mindset, changes in habits, changes in action. And this doesn't mean they have to be hard or miserable or annoying or terrible. It's simply just change. The path to wealth is marked by seasons of transformation. Perhaps you've been dreaming of expanding your business, increasing revenue, being able to make more while working less. And this fall, recognize that change is the essence of growth. Embrace it and watch your financial landscape flourish. And once we start the guided walking meditation, I want you to do your best to be in some form of movement. If you can't go for a walk, that's okay. You could be stretching. You could do yoga poses. I really don't want you doing multitasking other than movement while listening to this. 1 hour is 4% of your day. And I'm asking for a fraction of an hour. I'm asking you to give 2% to your day to this. And I wouldn't be asking you to do this if I didn't know what was on the other side. We need to do a refresh, just like you do on your computer, or just like you do on a web page that isn't loading properly. That's what fall is perfect for. Let's do a refresh on your wealth mindset. Let's do a refresh on your goals. Let's do a refresh on your abundance. Like growing up in the Midwest, people would clean out their rain gutters for fall because they needed to make sure those were clean because they knew there was going to be more rain and leaves that would get stuck in there. So you wanted to make sure those were all cleaned out. Like, let this be a time that you are relishing in the abundance that you know is coming, right? That's coming in the harvest. But you're also creating an environment that is ripe for receiving. If we do not create an environment that is set the stage, that's welcoming to receive, then why would the abundance come to us? We are not going to receive the abundance, the people, places, and things, the opportunities, the experiences we desire, unless the universe sees that we're ready for it, we're best positioned for it, because it wants to give us these things when it's at the best divine timing for the greater good of all. And it's one thing to say we want it, but our actions and words have to match. Us wanting it, but not making room for it, still is not going to let it in. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is one of my best practices of getting you into the abundance zone. You want to stay in it as long as you possibly can. No one lives in this zone. That's impossible. But taking deliberate actions to shift back into it. So this is designed for you to listen to again and again. And I want you to also make sure, because this is your absolute last chance to do it. And then we're putting it for sale. So the gift giveaway is ending for my Work Less While Making More workbook guided course. You're getting videos and audios now. So I've even expanded on it. And all you have to do is leave an Apple Podcast review of the show, leave your name or Instagram handle in the review, take a screenshot, and email us at support@projectmewithtiffany.com. And once the giveaway is over, we'll email them out. So those of you who are waiting for it and keep emailing us, we've not forgotten you. We've just not ended the giveaway yet. So once that is over, we will be emailing out all the things to you, or you can wait until it's over and pay for it. I don't know why you would when this only takes 30 seconds. If you don't know how to leave an Apple Podcast review, you can Google it, and the quick steps are in there. It's not super obvious when you go on Apple Podcasts, so some of you might need to Google it if you're wanting that abundance in return. And the only other thing I ask for this bonus episode is that you share this with someone who comes to mind, someone who's been going through a lot of stuff, someone who feels like bad shit keeps happening, stuff keeps happening. They're wanting more. They're wanting better for themselves, and they're having a difficult time always seeing like that light at the end of the tunnel. This is going to be it. This is going to help them set that refresh. So to get yourself set up, and if you're driving and you're doing this, it's okay. There's no rules here. You can be listening to it. You can break my rules. You can listen to it while you're multitasking. You can listen while you're driving. I'm not someone who ends up following through on sitting still meditations. This is where I came up with walking meditations, and I prefer when they're guided. It makes me go deeper. Also, when we're moving, we move energy out of our body. And a lot of you have stuck or trapped energy, have stuck or trapped trauma. You have other people's energy on you. If you're watching on YouTube right now on ProjectME TV, I'm like stretching out my arms. Like we need to get that out. That's why I love dancing, but just let's shake it off, right? Get it out. So I like when we're moving and we're having blood pump through our body and our cells are moving and we're breathing and we're alive, and you're getting the guided meditation. My experience in coaching over 150,000 people worldwide and in my own life is the manifestations and those messages of refreshing that money mindset sink in so much faster, and things happen faster and more powerful because you've primed the stage. It's like a lot of people down here at the beach paint their exterior of their homes during fall. They don't want to do it in summer. And so in fall is when you see a lot more construction here at the beach. And so many people are painting, and there's people who are doing it on the cheap. And then there's houses that are doing it the proper way. And I laugh because, and you would think, well, those mansions on the beach, Tiff, by these houses, there's $50 million, $60 million. There's no way they're not doing it on the cheap. Oh no, there's I know a lot of rich people who can be cheap about things at times. And usually those people actually end up losing almost all of their money, but that's a whole nother discussion. And you have to, when it comes to paint, right? You can't paint over shit that's like all like damaged from salt air and bubbled up. I mean, what will happen? I think all of us have had an apartment. Some of you might be in one where the cabinets just keep getting painted over, where they become like sticky. I remember my apartment I had in in my 20s. There was so much paint over the cabinets that when you would go to pull open a cabinet, it would like be so stuck that it would pull off some of the paint. We need to strip down. We need to shed in order to build back up. This is how I see autumn. This is what we're doing right now. We are going to, the trees flourish, and then their leaves change, right? Then the leaves have to shed. Then they have a dormancy period in order to flourish even bigger and better than before. Look at all the fruit, right? If you're into wine, look at how this happens with grapes. This happens with corn. This happens with berries. Fruit isn't just always there. It goes through seasons in order to regrowth, in order to have a plentiful harvest. And since we're coming up on the most powerful and potent money-making season online, period, end of story, sales are going to surpass Black Friday this year more than any other year. So all this nonsense and noise you're hearing out there, and I'm not saying there aren't some economic facts, but here are the other facts. People are still buying, and in fact, more than ever. And there is a lot of money to be made. So I want to make sure we position you. So back to the painting analogy, we need to scrape off all that old paint. We might even need to sand that wood. And then what do? You put on a primer, right? You don't just slap it on, goop it on. You put on a primer, and even though some of it's a little bit tedious and it's a little more time consuming to do it this way, the finished product is going to be gorgeous and it's going to last much longer. But if you try to cut corners, you're going to end up with results that are half measures. And this is not going to make you feel good. Half measures don't equal all in results, right? What do you want? You can't have it both ways. You can't have the beautifully painted house that's going to last several seasons, but then do it on the cheap and cut corners. It doesn't work like that in life. So I'd say the first thing going into this guided abundance walk is commit that you are going to, for this autumn of abundance, you are committing to setting the stage, to tending to your crops, to tending to yourself, to tending to your mind, to setting things up in a highest possible quality way with intention so that you can have the most plentiful harvest. So let's start there. I'm going to close my eyes for this. If you want to see what that looks like, you can go on to YouTube and see that. I don't care how I look. It does not matter. I want you to experience this in real time with me so you can see and hear how this is channeled. This isn't just coming from me. Not that my mind isn't powerful, not that I can't be of great service, but I channel this through my higher self, through a higher power, because there's such powerful messaging, and I'm the conduit. I'm the conduit that you're hearing right now for a divine reason at this exact divine time, out of millions of podcasts, out of millions of pieces of content, out of millions of things that you could be doing. You're here right now listening to this because you were supposed to, or you wouldn't be. You'd be doing something else. And I want you to trust that. I want you to focus on one sensation that you feel. Is it the temperature of the air? Is it the fan hitting you? Is it that you're particularly hot? Is it that some part of you is particularly cold? Is it your heartbeat? Is it how your clothes are feeling on your body? Just take a notice of that. I want you to look around in your surroundings, whether you're in nature, you're in your home. I want you to notice one thing that's abundant to you. Is it a flower? Is it a tree? The clouds? Is it a couch that you bought? Is it your own body and the ability for it to move and the fact that you're even alive? Is it the sunlight coming through the window? Focus on one thing of abundance. And I want you to say to yourself, abundance is all around me. Abundance surrounds me. There is an abundance of abundance. I don't even have to do anything. And abundance is occurring all around me. I don't control it. It's already there. And I'm going to do everything in my power to make a clearing for that abundance. I'm going to clear out everything that does not serve me, that does not serve my greatest growth, that does not serve this harvest, that does not serve the plentiful fruits of my labor and what I'm trying to accomplish with my business and my life and for the people that I love. I'm going to trust in the universe and allow for things to shed, allow for things to let go, allow for things to go away, allow for things to drop and fall. And I'm going to trust that all of that is happening because it needs to happen, because it's weighing it down and it's not serving me any longer. I want you to picture yourself walking in a beautiful forest, almost one that's like out of a children's storybook. Some of you live in places like that. I've seen you take videos and pictures and post them on your abundance walks and tag me. And I'd love to see those when you're done. You can tag me at ProjectME with Tiffany. I love sharing those for people. And I love sharing what manifestations have happened as a result of doing these walks. So you're walking in this fairy tale like forest during this autumn season where there's so many different colors in the leaves. There's all these leaves on the ground, but they're fresh, all different size leaves. You can hear the crunching of the leaves when you walk over them, and the temperature hasn't turned yet. So you're wearing whatever you are most comfortable wearing and perfectly comfortable. It's not too hot. It's not too cold. There's a perfect breeze hitting your face. The air is pure. You're in actual silence and you know that you're safe and it feels safe and it feels secure and you feel like you're somewhere magical. And how didn't I know this place was here? This is spectacular. This feels so good. And it's this long, long path. And it's a very clear path. It's not like you're really have much of a choice in terms of direction. You don't have to do that. The path has already been laid out for you, which is so comforting because you don't have to go into confusion or overwhelm and figure out all the ways. So you keep walking on this path and you see something way, way in front of you, but you can't make out what it is. And you're like, God, I wonder what that is. It's so far away. But you have a knowing that you need to walk to it. You have a knowing that there's a message for you on this path. And it's one of abundance. It's one that you know is what's going to get you to where you want to go because you've been kind of stuck there. There's something that you really want, and there's this kind of empty void in between that. And you've not been able to put your finger on it. And it's really been bothering you. And you know that the answer is at the end of this path. So that even feels good. That even makes you exhale. Oh my God, there's an end to this path. I need to know. I need to know what I need to do. I need the clear guidance. I need the clear sign. And you get a divine message just even from saying that. You don't need any of these things, love. You don't need. You're not in need. You might want, you might desire, but you don't need. Everything that you need is already within you, already surrounds you. I understand you want guidance. I understand that you want clarity. I understand you want proof. I understand you want certainty. I understand that you want clarity. And that's also all here for you. But we don't need to be in a neediness energy. You don't need. I want you to trust. Just like you see there's something at the end, but you can't quite make out what it is. But you know it's a good thing, and you know you need to keep on the path, even though you don't quite know what's at the end. That's exactly what this path to changing your money story, changing the financial makeup of your life, your lifestyle, whether that is through writing a book, whether that is through helping people by coaching them, whether that's through any various type of business in any type of way. You don't know the exact end, but you know it's good. You trust that it's good. And so you keep walking towards it because what's there for you and what's possible for you. And this is the path of possibility that you just got put on by the universe at this divine time in this autumn of abundance for you, where you could literally be a million other places right now, doing a million other things, taking in a million other pieces of information. Yet you're listening to this because you were supposed to listen to this, because this is your sign. And yes, it is that simple. And you need to trust it's that simple. So you keep walking. You're almost in bewilderment, but you have a sense of ease come over you that it gets to be this easy for the first time in my life. It gets to be easy. And it's always been there to be easy, but you didn't believe it. That's not what you were taught. And that's okay. We're going to shed that. We're going to shed that old story. We're going to shed that multi-generational lie. It gets to be soft. It gets to be easy. It gets to be luxurious. It gets to be transformative. It gets to be beautiful. It gets to be nourishing. It gets to be energy inducing. It gets to give you time back. It gets to give you more quality engagement with the people that you love. That's true abundance. That's why you're here. Let's shed the hard. Let's shed all the hard stuff. Shed it just like the trees all around you. When the leaves are all dropping, they're shedding everything that it's done with. And it's not that they're bad. And it's not that they didn't serve any purpose. They so did. And now it's just time for something new. It's time for a refresh. It's time for regrowth. And all those leaves are dropping. I need you to drop all of this shit. Just like the trees are dropping these leaves, and you can drop it with love and drop it with grace and even say, thank you for shedding this for me, for shedding these beliefs and these habits and these thoughts that are getting in the way from me generating new, for me generating the biggest harvest of my life. And you just have so much ease now. You feel like you can fully exhale. And the air feels so clean and pure in your lungs. And for the first time in a long time, or maybe ever, there is a different way. And this way actually gets to be easy. And you can have abundance easily. You keep walking. And you're walking at a pace that feels good to you. You're not rushing. You're not dragging your feet. You're excited. So there's part of you that wants to run, but not to. Because if you run, you're going to miss the beauty of all of this glorious forest around you and watching all of the shedding of these leaves of all different sizes and colors rain on you. Why would you want to miss that? This is part of the process. You don't want to speed this part up. This is a beautiful part of the journey. And you know you're going to get there soon enough. And it's not in your timing anyway. It's in divine timing, but your ego, of course, tries to make out, what is that? I want to know. I want to know. And it's not being revealed to you yet. And just keep walking. Notice what's around you. Remind yourself, I'm going to know when it's time. The message will be clear when it's time. I'm going to relish in all of this abundance that's around me right now, whether it's how I feel in my own body, whether it's the temperature in the air, how it smells, how it feels to be alive in this moment. The fact I feel at least 50% calmer simply by listening to this, the fact that I have even found someone who can mentor me through the airwaves, who I feel safe with, who I relate to. And this was also brought to me at the exact divine time for the greater good of all. You can tell you're getting close to the end of your path. There's part of you that's a little nervous of what it's going to be, because you know whatever it's going to be, you have to act on it. You can't stay in that space anymore of saying you're confused, of saying you don't know what step to take next, of saying you don't know what to do, or if you should do it, or if you should not do it. You know that whatever answer is there is the answer, and you have to move forward from here. You have to, because the cost of not doing it is far too great. And you also know it's time. It's your season. It's your season of abundance. No matter what anyone around you says, no matter what mass media says, no matter what other people project onto you, you can always come back right here to your season of abundance. Your autumn forest walk is right here for you. You can go back right in your mind at any time and envision yourself walking through this to remind yourself of what's here and to come back to the root of the answer, because the answers are always within us. They might present themselves through something on the exterior, but that's just a reflection of the knowing that's already inside of us, subconsciously or consciously. It's just confirming what's already there. And this is a conduit to help you get there. You're now at the end of the path, and there's a giant pile of leaves. It looks so soft and fluffy. It's like, wow, that looks like it'd be so fun to play in. Maybe I will play in it. That's crazy. I've never seen a pile of leaves like this before. And you see up against it, there's a chest. It's a wooden chest. It looks like it's been there a long time. You know it's meant for you. There's no lock on it. There doesn't need to be one, because this is just for you. It's like it's been waiting for you this whole time. It's been waiting for you for years. It feels like that's why it's so weathered. It's been waiting for you to get there at this very moment. Wow, I can't believe this was here this entire time, you're saying to yourself before you open it. This was here this whole time. I had no idea. And you weren't ready for it, but you're ready now. It wasn't time. You wouldn't have been able to receive it. You were supposed to receive this message right now at this time. And you bend down and you open up this box. What's inside this box? If the box is empty, what is the box saying to you? Then there's a message for you. What's the box saying? It could be one word. There might be an object in the box. There could be a photo of a person in the box. What's in there? When I opened mine, it said, "It's time." My box was empty, but the words came through almost like the bottom of the box. And I heard a voice saying, "It's time. It's time." And I know what that means. It's time to go to the next level, because I've been planting that seed and asking and inquiring and chewing on it and overanalyzing it and overthinking about it. There's the answer. It's time, and I can choose not to trust that and continue to stay in self-proclaimed purgatory. Or I can choose to trust that I got this message out of the literally billions of messages I could have gotten. I got this one. There it is. Whatever message you got, you have a choice right now. And I want you to say it to yourself. I'm choosing to trust this. I'm choosing to trust this. I'm choosing to trust this, and I will act accordingly. I'm choosing to trust this, and I will act accordingly. And it is also a choice to not trust it. But how is that going to work for you? It's not going to get you the abundance you want. It's not going to get you the plentiful harvest. It's not going to get you the beautifully painted home that lasts multiple seasons. Oftentimes, the answers that we get, they can be scary because it's usually a big move. It might be a simple move, but it's a big move. But in order to have the big results, the big harvest, the big moves are required. Whatever big is to you, it feels big, right? But it's usually very, very simple. I want you to sit with this. Sit with this in silence. If there's a certain song you feel called to play, I want you to sit with this feeling of abundance and hold on to it instead of racing and going to multitask, even if all you have is a minute because you have a busy schedule. Give yourself 1 minute to relish in this feeling right now with your nervous system that is at such a relaxed, abundant point, and know how much you are loved and supported. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you.
If you enjoyed this podcast, please write a 5-star review on iTunes. Not only will this make me super happy, but it will allow more listeners to find our special show. Simply help me help others.